hello, and blessed Capricorn new moon in December 2022, or whenever you may be watching this video. Hello, my patrons on Patreon. Hi! You guys are getting this before everybody else, because that's how Patreon works. Yeah, you gotta give it to everybody else later, right? Everybody else on YouTube and elsewhere, I gotta give it to them first. Like, a little incentive to click the link in the description box and see what I am offering on Patreon, the advanced content. They got an exclusive video I recorded before this one, preparing to do this. Only they will see that. Yeah, if you want the advanced and the exclusive content, as well as so much more, click that link and come Patreon on Patreon. Let's get down to work. After doing these spell videos for not every, but close to every new moon, full moon, and solar sabbat and the pagan wheel of the year, you might have noticed they're getting simpler and simpler and simpler, because particularly the time of year we're doing this. I'm doing this literally on the new moon in Capricorn, the 23rd of December 2022, and I may be traveling to Saratoga, I may not. There's like a blizzard, freezing rain, right, going on. Check the weather for this period in time, you'll see what I mean. So I have no idea what's going to happen next, whether I'm traveling or not. So of course a cup of coffee goes a long way, and so let's get into it. So we're going to do a quickie opening prayer. We're going to cast a cup of grace coffee spell, which I do every morning, and a little bit about everyday simple potion magic. Also, it's called cumulative magic, because the more you do it, the magic accumulates over a period of time. We'll talk a little bit about the new moon in Capricorn, 10th house, all that stuff. We'll talk about the ingredients and the tools that I have, the symbolic magical correspondences. Do the working. I'm not doing altar devotion is optional. I don't do an altar devotion with every cup of coffee that I make here at home, and even in public. Certainly, that's a little distracting for the other diners or people at Starbucks. Cleanse and consecrate the ingredients, totally optional. They're my ingredients. They're in my house. It's all good. Combine ingredients and stir while chanting the spell. So I will read that to you, but do know that this spell is the exact same spell called the Spell for Grace that's in my book, Words of Grace, available on Kindle. There's a link in the description box. But this is what I've been doing not just every morning, every cup of coffee that I make at home, and even in public. I just do it silently. It's a lovely little spell, and it rhymes, and we'll get into it. So let's do just a little quickie ground and center, right? We don't have to, bring the entire, the pantheons of the divine fully present in order to bless a cup of coffee with grace. But let's see what comes out of my mouth, shall we? Obviously, I've already had coffee this morning, so this will be my second cup. So let's do that. Get yourself comfortable in a position you can stay in just for a couple of minutes, right? If you can, right? Close your eyes. If you can't, that's okay. I'll pop up a picture anyway and some music, so you can just sort of relax. And first thing in the morning, how relaxed are you? I'm not always doing this from a place of total peace and calm, because I need my coffee. But for now, check in. Cardinal Earth, Capricorn, check in with your body. All right? If you learn this, if you memorize it, believe me, it gets easier every time. This spell, but nice to do it from a more relaxed, grounded, and centered place. So do that. Just ground and center. Feel your body. Breathe. Breathe into your center, whatever you feel that to be. Pick a chakra, an area of your body that feels like center. And just breathe. And while you are grounding, centering, and breathing, I offer this very simple prayer. And I do indeed call upon our collective pantheons of the divine, our guides, masters, teachers, gods, goddesses, saints, angels, totems, healers, ancestors, and higher selves, all the way back to the divine singularity, the Tao without name, the pregnant void, the mother of all source, to surround each and every one of us watching this video, taking part in this experience whenever they may come across it in a force field of light, containing and protecting our energy field. So all information and energy, guidance, grace, love, wisdom, and power, exchanges in all overtones of all dimensions, clearly, cleanly, for the well-being of all, as an act of grace, as an act of blessing, as an act of mystical, simple, cumulative magic, miracles, and mysticism. And as ever, please use me, all aspects known and unknown. Send it through me, even though I do this so many times a day, this particular piece of magic. Use me. Use me. Make this the best spell I've ever done, but not the best spell I've ever done, the best video I've ever done, but not the best video I will ever do. That it may be a blessing upon this world, a channel of grace for the well-being of all, and with harm to none. As I will it. So let it be done. So let it be. Shall we? Let's talk. New moon in Capricorn, cardinal earth. There are 3 earth signs. Well, there are 3 of each of the elemental signs. The 4 elements, 3 signs, 12 signs of the zodiac. So we have fixed earth, Taurus. We have mutable earth, Virgo, and we have cardinal or creative earth, like a cardinal. Well, a cardinal sin is the first order of sin. It does mean the first, but in that sense, initiatory, right? The mountain goat climbing up that hill, climbing up that road, climbing up that hill, hopefully without too many problems. That's why we have the coffee. 10th house ruled by Saturn. You'll see why that's important with coffee in a little bit, but certainly boundaries, right? This is a thing you're going to do for yourself. Do not serve this to other people if they don't know that they're drinking a cup of grace, because that's not fair. But 10th house dynamic, of all the things that are said, it's all about highest potential, not just your higher potential. We always have a higher potential in every moment, but the highest potential, 100% gold, so to speak, from that spectrum of lead to gold. It's a hard road, and it is slow and steady wins the race, and it takes immense creativity and boundaries, right? All of that stuff that is part of our highest potential. So keep that in mind. That's what at least this version of the spell will be about, but you can do this coffee spell whenever. It doesn't matter where the moon is, just saying, right? And a bit about coffee magic. Let's talk a little bit about coffee magic. I may not be addicted to lots of things, but I do not want to go through caffeine detox ever again. I did it decades ago, and never again. I love coffee. That's why, this spell, you could tweak it for tea, but not with the Capricorn vibe going on here. So, potion magic literally is anything involving a liquid as a carrier. There is a difference, however, between potable and non-potable. Potable means you can ingest it and not die. Non-potable means spit it out, don't even drink it, right? Cologne, perfume may have alcohol in it, but do you really want to be drinking that? No. If you're distilling your own stuff, rock out, have fun. Wine, liquor, beer, but water, Blue Ho'opono. This coffee was actually made with blue solar water, Ho'oponopono. So I love potion. I'm a potion witch, Pisces moon. Just comes naturally. I used to play in the kitchen as a little kid making potions all the time. I used to get in a lot of trouble for it. Now they can't stop me. I can even make videos about it. But it is a daily spell for me, sometimes several times a day, depending on the day. Public, private, at home, doesn't matter. I can cast the spell, which makes it cumulative magic, sort of like the spell I do, the traveling spell when I get in my car. Shields, angels, lions, dragons, the little extra rhyming ditty, depending on the day, whether it's raining, snowing, or just traffic. Cumulative, every time you get it, it gets stronger, right? Particularly if you have a specific cup or car, or do it in your house. I am using my witch's brew mug made for me. Oh, I can't remember the name of her company. I should have wrote it down. But one of my friends, my subscribers on YouTube, Well, not quite on Patreon yet. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. But it's Firefox, something like that. Word fox is in it. I will put the link in the description box. Remember that, Mal. She made this for me. She sent it to me. And so I figured, perfect. I usually do this in a much larger, like hot tub size mug. But I thought, you know, why not? It's brown. I'm wearing my John Varvatos. He's not from Barbados. I'm wearing all the Capricorn colors. Got the Capricorn jewelry on. So absolutely, this will be fun. Let's talk ingredients. So coffee. Obviously, I have it in a little Wonder Woman. A warmie cup thing, says extra strength on the back. I can just pour that out there. So coffee, let's start there. Coffee beans are ruled by the planet Saturn, an element of Earth. Capricorn ruled by Saturn, planet of Earth, for creativity, right? To create your reality the day you want. Now water, obviously, it's not just the beans. It's not crunching on beans. That wouldn't be it might work. I don't know. Please don't make me figure out chemistry. Chew on them, although an espresso bean in chocolate, best thing ever. Edible delicacy, speed you up. But the water that I'm using, as I said, is blue solar water. That's my choice. Oh, and by the way, my patrons and my friends on the Angelo Lyons Mal for Short private Facebook group have this Google Doc I'm actually reading from. It's an unlisted, so if you want access to it, you pay for it on Patreon, or you can get it for free in the private group. Links in the description box. So yeah, I'm doing it with element of water, blue solar water, mug, element of earth, obviously. And if you take your coffee black, that's all you need. I, however, do not seasonings as desired, right? Cream, half and half, or milk is the element of water, symbolic of abundance, fertility, motherhood, and prosperity. Covers a lot of ground. Honey, I do not put white sugar in my coffee. That's a lot of how I lost a lot of my weight, was switching from processed white sugar to, sugar in the raw, turbinado sugar. That would be in the spell if I still had some in the house, but I finished up the box a couple of days ago and did not get more. But I love that. Put a teaspoon of turbinado sugar, a little honey, and then let it kind of do its thing and then stir. Fabulous. I love it so much. But honey is obviously element of water. It's a liquid, and it is sacred to Venus and Aphrodite. I'm doing this on a Friday, the day of Venus, right? Bingo. Check, check, check. Sugar, which is element of earth, right? It's physical, tangible, solid. That is for amplification and love. Amplification, right? Pour some sugar on, baby. You know, you throw a handful of sugar, just white sugar, into a bonfire. Stand back, right? It's just amplifies. And I don't have it for this spell, but I am prone to liking a drop or two of really the highest grade I can find it, of vanilla extract. Couple of drops. Again, element of water, Venus, Aphrodite, Friday magic, vendredi, mes amis. And if you like cinnamon for the element of fire, but it's also Venus and Aphrodite energy. So as I started just say, okay, what do I put in my coffee? And I just started checking the symbolic correspondences. I was like, this is what I do every morning, and it's totally for better on a Friday. Friday, though, that's not my day of rest. So our working, like I said, altar devotion, not doing it. You do you. Pause it. You want to set up your altar. I couldn't do that every morning. I would get so much less done in my day, but probably more efficiently. Cleanse and consecrate the ingredients. You do you. Combine ingredients and stir while chanting the spell. Okay, so here is the spell. I know this by heart. Remember, this came through me, God, when I was teaching the Grace curriculum back in, God, the teens, the 2000 teens. So it's very simple. In this time and in this place, I now do conjure a channel of grace by thought, by will, by heart, by deed. I ask that grace meet every need for the well-being of all with harm to none. As I will it, so let it be done. tap the mug 3 times, and so it is, and you're done. Let's break it down. In this time and in this place, here and now, I now do conjure. I like that word, conjure, a channel of grace. Now, what grace means to you is up to you. I talked about it before. I wrote a book about it, about grace, even those first couple of chapters. You know, not just saying grace, but grace is the breath of the divine, and on and on and on, right? So to make the coffee itself, you are the channel of grace. The grace is coming through you, but potion magic is about making something liquid, essentially a carrier, right? A channel of grace. By thought, third eye, by will, throat chakra, by heart chakra, and by deed into physical form, I ask that grace meet, M-E-E-T, every need. Now, you could make that a Mad Lib, a plug-in, right? I ask that grace heal every need, bless every need. I like grace meeting every need, right? Because if you have a need, you want it met, and you want it met gracefully. And by the way, what you need, known and unknown. That's not written, but let's say that's implied. For the well-being of all with harm to none, as I will it, so let it be done. So motivate. So, I don't say this 3 times, like I do in all the other spells. But for this one, we will say it 3 times. First time to get the words in your mouth, right? Let the nerves and the muscles and all of that feel it. First time. Second time, throw a little love into it, right? Put your heart into it a little bit. If you love coffee like I do, that's not hard. And third time, full out, and we'll save for the well-being of all with harm to none, as I will it, so let it be done. The lawyer's lines, I like to call it, the loopholes, the lawyer's loopholes in there. So, you don't blow up the world because you had a good cup of coffee, or blow up the bathroom, depending on how you're doing. Maybe that's necessary, I don't know. Is an earth sign, Capricorn. And then we're done. So, let's do this. Yeah, I'll just put up the music. I don't think I'm going to put up the picture for this because you're going to watch me do it. So here we go. Let's combine our ingredients. Here we go. So I start with the empty mug. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That should be good. I just count, measure it out there now. I've got a little green little thing here because I'm working on a glass table, right? So this is it. Please take a nice deep breath. Magic spoon. Here we go. In this time and in this place, I now do conjure a channel of grace. In this time and in this place, I now do conjure a channel of grace. By thought, by will, by heart, by deed, I ask that grace meet every need. So the first one, I'll do this one slower. In this time and in this place, I now do conjure a channel of grace. By thought, by will, by heart, by deed, I ask that grace meet every need. Third time, all the way through. Let him have it. Still point. In this time and in this place, I now do conjure a channel of grace. By thought, by will, by heart, by deed, I ask that grace meet every need for the well-being of all and with harm to none. As I will it, so let it be done. So motivate. And so it is. so mote it be. Magically delicious. Well, so there you go. Like a lot of setup for like a 2-minute thing, but I do it every morning over and over and over again. And yeah, I dribbled coffee on. I'm glad it's a glass top table, a little Windex, that's clear. So as I always do, I'm not just setting you loose out into the world, am I? Just go ahead. Yeah, no, go tear it up. No, we're gonna ground. We're gonna center. I love that spell. And by the way, you can stir it into tea, but tea is Mars, right? So if you want to do tea, just do it when the moon is in Aries, you know, whatever. But I love doing magic here this way for you all, just to know that it's never about the astrology. You do you, right? You can always stop time, go between the worlds, and cast whatever sort of witch's brew you need. So let's ground this and let's get on with the day. I got videos to do. Please take a nice deep breath just for you. Still point. And we'll put up the music in the picture for this. Here we go. I call to our collective pantheons of the divine. Thank you so much, our guides, masters, teachers, gods, goddesses, saints, angels, totems, healers, ancestors, and higher selves all the way back to source, for surrounding us in this force field of light, containing and protecting our energy so that we could do a little self-care, a little magic, a little cup of grace in our face for the well-being of all. And thank you as ever for doing all this for me, through me, on my behalf, for using me, making me the channel of guidance, grace, love, wisdom, and power. You contracted me to be in this life, and every time I do it, I get a little bit better. And isn't that Capricorn? Every step up the mountain takes us closer. And once we get to the top, that peak, that achievement, that peak moment, thank you, Maslow, right? Maslow, that we are then at the foothills of the next, and that's how it goes. Because there's always a higher truth, there's always a higher level, there's always a higher destiny, and there's always a highest potential that we may not see. Because if we did, we may not get out of bed because it's a bit much. But with a cup of grace here and there, as we need it everywhere, may we achieve and be the best that we can be, fulfill our roles in the divine plan, and thank you for using me in that process. So that when I do exit stage up, breathe my last breath in this life and take my next one in the next world, I can look back and know that I did the best that I could do. Achieved my highest destiny, whether I was aware of it or not, fulfilled my role in the divine plan for the well-being of all and for permanent paradise planet Earth. Victory is ours, for the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done, so mote it be, and so it is. Shlanta itanta. Enjoy your witch's brew. And by all means, if you're watching this on YouTube or elsewhere, and you want more of this on the daily, because I am not stopping, not with good coffee, come Patreon on Patreon, not kidding. Not kidding. Literally doing this on my couch, on a velvet duvet, drinking coffee. This is what I love to do. This is part of my highest potential, and that's why every video, everything that I do, including with some feline intervention. Come on up, Melky. Let's see if we can get him on before I sign off. I doubt it. He's stubborn. He's a Taurus. Just go check it out and come play with me on Patreon. And for my patrons, thank you so much as ever. As always, my honor, my pleasure, a brilliant opportunity to serve in this way. So thank you, all of you. And seriously, if you're watching this the day of or soon after, blessed new moon in Capricorn, and certainly blessed, happy, safe, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, safe holidays for you all. Or even if you're watching this years from now, have yourself a cuppa. I love ya. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.